In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friends. This is Pinky.
And this is Priyanka.
And we're here to call out all things PakeAsPuck.
A weird angle.
I know. What's up?
Sorry about that.
What happened earlier today? Spill.
I'm just really tired.
From surviving?
When am I ever not tired, I guess. But, like, kids have just been, like, constantly sick. Mm-hmm. Just back and forth.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, and they're not, like, feverish and this or that. But the boys missed more school recently. My daughter's not.
Okay.
She's just tends to buck up and whatever. So, anyways, there's that. And then earlier today, I wasn't feeling very good. So I don't know what it is. Like, eggs just don't sit well with me. And I went through a phase where I would be fine. Mm-hmm. But then yesterday, I reintroduced eggs after about like 5 weeks of not eating them.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, okay, let's just see if we could do like maybe just 2 eggs, you know, and like work our way in back. I was okay yesterday. And then today, I just did not feel good. I had a stomach ache. And so I was really just like iffy for a good chunk of the afternoon. And then I was going to come here, and then I just have a lot going on. Like, I'm busy with work. It's like my last big work weekend.
Yep.
And I had a whole list of things that I needed to get done. And now I have the stomach ache, right? So I was just feeling a little off, but I like bucked up and tried to get shit done. Now.
And the kids were home today.
Yeah. So Neil took the kids to their swim practice. And I had asked my daughter, okay, what do you guys want for dinner? What are you thinking? And earlier in the day, she said enchiladas, and I recall her saying that. But then when I asked, like, before she was leaving, I was like, hey, is bagare de bakri okay? And she was just like, is that the yellow one that Nani made? And I'm like, no, that was bataka pongo. We don't have that. I'm talking about bagare de bakri, like the whatever. And when I asked her, I forgot about the enchiladas.
Okay.
In full honesty.
Yeah,
I forgot
it's
about the
okay.
enchiladas, so I asked her again. And so she said that she was okay with bagare de bakri. And I'm like, okay, great. I'll make that, right? Now, I was still kind of hunched over in a little bit of pain, but he left with the kids. And I was like, okay, just hustle, get like the kids' dinner made. And then I had mine kind of already prepped, mine and Neil's. So I started doing all that, and then I ran to go get my clothes tailored and pick up a few extra pieces of grocery that I needed from the Jewel Next Buy. Anyways, so I'm doing all this, and they get home, and my daughter was just like, hey, what's for dinner? She was really excited and happy and whatever, right? So she's like, what's for dinner? I'm like, bagari bagari, it's right on the table. Immediately, like, her mood just dropped.
Because she wanted enchiladas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, I wanted enchiladas.
Oh, no.
And I took that very personally.
Yeah.
Because I
forgot.
And I remember that she said it earlier, so the guilt set in. And she was just pissed. She threw a bit of a tantrum.
Right. She's a kid, yeah.
Right. And then Neil also didn't say anything.
Okay.
He was just kind of doing other shit. And then, like, the boys were acting out. And I just, like, look over at him. Like, she was being disrespectful. Honestly, she was being disrespectful at that point. Like, okay, it wasn't what you wanted. But you're not seeing that, like, I wasn't feeling good. And that I did find the energy to get it done. Like, you're 8. I do think that, to some degree, you should... see that.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, mom's not standing upright fully. There's
and I
something
even
wrong
said
with
that. Like, before they left, I was like, mommy's going to go lay down for 20 minutes. I really just needed to, like, try to get it to readjust, right? And then I look over at Neil, and he's still not saying anything. And I'm just like, why is it that when the boys are, like, smacking you around, and, like, when the middle guy gets frustrated and he's like, no, stop it, and he's retaliating, where I'm just like, you can be mad, but you're not going to be using your hands against daddy.
Yeah, you come to his defense.
Right, and I'm just like, and you're just
You have
like...
his back. And he didn't have your back.
Right, I was just pissed.
As you should be.
This is a parenting moment for you.
Yeah. This is where you take initiative because you help with the boys all the time. So you thought that he was going to help with
Like,
your daughter.
anytime they're being disrespectful, I'm usually just like, you better watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Let's work on some new vocabulary. You know,
Yeah.
and I check
You check,
them.
yes.
I understand that it happens. They're little. They don't always know the weight of their words, but that's.
But your daughter
that's
is the
where I have to-
oldest out of the three.
Right, and I'm just looking over at him. I'm just like, are you gonna say anything?
Yeah. And he's just like, what do you want me to say?
Right.
Of course. What do you want me to say? I don't know. Maybe tell your daughter not to be such a cunt. I don't know.
Like, he heard that part of it. I was mad then, and it got really awkward.
Yeah.
But then he just started yelling at them. To, like, guys, knock it off, blah, blah, blah. He was just, like, alpha dogging them a little bit. So then once they kind of got settled in after dinner.
Like, it's not one extreme or the other.
Right. So
like, what are you doing?
They ate their food. He was yelling at the middle one because he didn't want to eat it. And he's a very, very particular eater.
Uh-huh.
And he's just yelling and making threats. Like, if you don't eat it, you're not going to get screens later. And I know you guys got a late start tomorrow. Technically on late start nights, they're allowed to have a movie night. That's fine. Yeah. And he's like, I'm not going to let you guys watch a movie. And I'm like, again, you're not parenting them. You're just
threatening
right.
them.
So they didn't take it to heart. They went back and they were like, they finished eating and they were on the sofa. They're goofing around, whatever. But he was also just irritated that every now and then he would just bark at them. And so then I look over at him. I'm like, do you understand like what I meant by I need you to like talk to the kids and parent them? I don't want you yelling at them.
Right. Just like he doesn't want you yelling at them.
I also don't want to yell at them.
Yeah, nobody wants to yell at their kids.
Like, no.
You in that instance, you wanted a partner that you can tag in because you were tapped out.
Right.
And you needed somebody to have your back because and this is definitely like, if the boys spoke to me in a certain way, I would expect my husband to be like, yo, you can't talk to mom like that.
Right.
Like, this is about respecting your elders. It's about respecting the people that are here to help you and who love you, right?
Right.
But so it's like, if he didn't have my back, if the boys did that to me, I would be just as outraged. And it's more important because
you're teaching them to be better humans.
But not even. It's also, now you're talking about your daughter is talking to her mom like that. And that's a different type of relationship. When a son is talking to a mom that way, disrespectfully, it's different than when a daughter is talking like that disrespectfully to a mom. Because then the lie, like...
In all fairness, she never said anything that was like, oh, that's so stupid, you're so stupid.
Whatever she did say.
She was just being ungrateful in
Yeah.
that situation, and I wanted her to, like, more take visual note of what was happening and just be like, okay, you made bacalao de bakri, this isn't what I was expecting, right?
Yeah.
Can we have enchiladas tomorrow?
Right.
Which I promised her I would do. I'm just like, I hear you. I'm going to make sure that it happens tomorrow, and I hope you're okay with that. When we talked about it afterwards...
Which is great.
She actually handled it much better than like one of the boys. The boys were like, this is stupid! Why do I have to eat this all the time? They're just dumb about it.
But you were just asking him to support you in the fact that you wanted your husband to notice that you weren't feeling well. Yeah. You wanted your husband to then be like, okay, well, mommy wasn't feeling well, and she has to go do some work tonight, and we do this. I do this at home, right? I don't, like, yes, social media is supposed to be this fun entity, but I have conditioned everybody in this house to know that there is work and there is non-work. Work is me whenever I'm in my vagina cave, whatever I'm doing down here. Work is me when I have to leave on Wednesday to go do 5-10 minutes at Zany's, right? That's all work. Is it fun work? Yes, it's fun work, but it's still work, right? So for you, is being a makeup artist work? Yes. Is it fun work? Yes, but it's still work. You know what I'm saying? And so because you're doing work stuff and you're trying, like, you had so many things that you had to get done for this last big push that you have before you travel for personal reasons and then internationally and all that stuff, like, you wanted him to see everything that was on your plate, and you wanted him to then talk to your daughter and be like, yo, let's chill for a minute. Let's give mommy a break. How do you feel when you're not, how would you feel if we yelled at you when you weren't feeling good? Right? Put yourself in her shoes. Like, you wanted him to take that initiative.
Right.
And he didn't, because he
But
didn't
I
really.
have to tell him what to do.
Right, and that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
No, it does
because
not.
everybody always tells you that you have to course correct these bitches in the moment. But when you course correct these bitches in the moment, then they get mad at you. Like, don't yell at, don't tell me, don't say it in front of the kids, because then they're gonna think bad about me. It's like, well, then don't act like a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, whenever you talk to anybody about any sort of relationship issues that you have, it was like, so when did you talk to him about this? I'm like, oh, well, when we were alone a couple of hours or a couple of days later. And then they're like, that's where you went wrong. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna, like, if something happened in front of the kids and I want to, like, of course.
Well, there's you could chew him out, or
Right.
you could respectfully explain to him, like, this is what I feel you didn't do right.
Right.
Which I didn't chew him out per se, but I was kind of just like, aren't you gonna say something?
Right.
Like, why aren't you stepping in right now? Which I said it right in front of them.
But he didn't.
That's what I expect him to do.
He probably didn't see it as anything wrong. He probably, I can guarantee you.
That's negligent as fuck.
But I can guarantee you, our husbands are the same. In some aspect, they are the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I can guarantee you that he didn't even pick up on the fact that you were not feeling well. Unless you verbally said it to him?
No, I did. I told him.
Okay,
I was
so
like,
you did tell him.
I'm just having an off day. I don't feel good. I think I need to eliminate the eggs. Like, I said all those things.
Okay, so he knew.
Yeah.
So then he's just being an idiot. Call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? Like, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and be like, he's just too stupid. He didn't see. Just like every other husband.
He knew, and honestly, it ticked me off even more when I was like, I said it so many times. This week is nuts.
Yeah.
We had a day off, a late start. I'm working a full stretch.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever. Like, I'm constantly thinking about, like, if I'm not in the house, there's gotta be food ready to go for everybody, right? Especially me, because if I'm not eating, I'm mean.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I told him, I'm like, back to the basics, keeping it simple. I have like a very much like a grab and go type of menu. So there's food prepped, ready to go in containers. So when I'm leaving the house, I just have to grab it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make it as easy as possible. And I spent Sunday prepping with him. I told him, I'm just like, come, let's just make everything so it's ready to go. And then we just have to stick to it. Because I knew by Wednesday, I start. I don't have much time in between to do anything else. And then today, I don't know, I'm just kind of sick of this salad.
Oh my God. This is why I can't meal prep. This is why I can't meal prep.
And I was just like, the whole point was to make it easy. And now, of course, I'm just like, I'm not going to make two different options.
No. Every time I meal prepped between show trips, and I would post it sometimes, right? You'd see it on my stories, containers lined up on the counter, and then if there's leftover and we're recording, I'm like, I'll text you, be like, hey, do you want some? I made some because I had to prep, right? Have I texted you in recent weeks? No, because I have not been meal prepping. Because I'm like, you're home. You are home. You want me to be the breadwinner? I'll be more than happy to be the breadwinner. But guess what? It's going to stop everything else.
All the domestic work.
Right, because I cannot do it all. And for you to expect me to do it all is asinine. Because this is if you the husband, the dad was a traveling work, like had to travel for work, you would go and get a lawn service. You would go get snow removal services. You would go and do the things, you would put these things in place so you wouldn't have to do extra work. Yet I don't get that luxury.
I'm so conflicted right now because it's like...
And the fact that you had to tell them, like you were giving him a heads up of, this is such a busy week. This is such a, like leading up to it. Do you know how many, and you know this, I try not to travel for more than 5 to 6 days at a time. Or even just maximum 7 days.
That's still a really long
That's a long time to travel, right? And I get it, which is why I try not to be away more than 7 days consecutively. But there are some trips, some shows where it makes sense for me to just go from one place to the next instead of coming home for 24 hours because of the cost of flights and cars and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so the amount of heads up buttercup that I need to give them, hey, in 5 weeks, in 4 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 2 weeks, next week, tomorrow, I'm gone. And no one like, it doesn't register in here
Until you're gone.
until I leave. And then they're 3 days into that 10-day trip that I'm gone. And they're like, oh no, what are we going to do now? It's like, I don't fucking know. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't ask me who's going to pick me up, who's going to drop me off. Don't do any of that stuff because I am not home now.
Yeah.
And like, I was.
It's hard to walk away and just be like, because here's the thing, they're going to figure it out.
They're going to figure it out. They're not going to die.
And for us, we just have to be able to like be like, go for you.
And I like I said, this third tour, has been 100% different. I've not been busting my ass between show weeks.
Yeah, you're not.
I didn't see an ROI on that, so I'm not doing it again. I'm not taking too much on. I'm not going above and beyond because I'm like, you know what? They're not even my parents. So why should I have to stress out about this? You know who else can call the little phone number for Walgreens on the bottle? And
Literally everybody else
and
in
then
the house
it,
but the dog.
and then input all of the prescription numbers. Everybody else can do it.
Yeah.
Anybody who has a phone can do it. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not taking anybody on doctor's appointments. If somebody calls me because they want to make an appointment, I will make the appointment because I have access to this calendar. But whenever somebody asks me a question, I say one thing. I'm like, calendar's up to date. Look at that.
I love it. I'm proud of you.
Like they'll be like, what time do you get home? I'm like, I don't know. My phone's not with me. Calendar's up to date. Look at that. Why? Why do I have to use my resources, but you don't have to use your resources?
Right.
Like,
okay. Oh my God.
like like you said, they're not gonna die.
My washer was smelling kind of funky. Like I was certain that all my clothes were smelling funky. Laundry is not my job. Laundry is my husband's job. I fold, but I do not keep the washer running. And I called him out. I'm like, yo, my clothes are smelling funny. What's going on with the washer? Oh, I don't know. I'll check it out. Weeks have gone by. It was not checked out. And so I'm now looking stuff up, right? I had bought that, the gel to remove any, like, mold or whatever. I bought it and I gave it to him. I'm like, here, use
Do you use a high efficiency cleaning that you have to do once a
I
month?
clean it all the time.
Okay.
I do like a rinse cycle and clean it. And then I also use like the tablets to clean it. I wipe it down. Whenever I was doing the laundry, I was also wiping it down, which again, I had to tell him. By the way, when we bought the washer, they told us when we installed it, don't close it after you're done using it. Wipe
Mold.
it down and let it dry.
Yeah, mold. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
front loading ones, they're
Yeah.
notorious for that.
Right. And so I was like, we're supposed to leave it open. Don't just close it. It has to dry out. I had to tell him all this stuff, right? And then so I got that like mold stain remover gel that was like kind of on TikTok. And I was like, okay, this looks promising, well reviewed. Let's try it out. I gave it to him to do. Because again, that's a man's job.
Yeah.
The man's.
Men's.
Right? Weeks have gone by and my clothes are still smelling. I'm like, what is going on? So then I went into the laundry room and the thing is still completely packaged, sealed. So I did it. I'm capable of doing everything.
We are.
I just want a partner that can recognize what needs to be done and do it, right? And so then I gelled it on and I had to go and, of course, update him. Don't use the washer. The gel needs to dry and then you got to wipe it clean and do it. And he's like, oh yeah, well, maybe I could just like clean the drain pipe and everything. I sent him a TikTok of how to clean the washer because I was just like, there is something wrong with our washer. I'm certain of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, maybe I just need to take the pipe out and clean it, whatever. I stepped out to get groceries. I came back and it smelled like the deepest crevice of my dog's asshole upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And
Before diarrhea.
He's like, yeah, that came out of the washer. I'm like, I'm well aware. My clothes have been smelling weird for weeks.
Yeah. And his clothes haven't?
He can't smell.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's like, oh, you know my sense of smell. And I'm like, you will die of mold poisoning or whatever. The black mold poisoning. That's
Yeah,
fake,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
The fuck? How do you not smell that? But he was able to smell it after he like drained everything. He's like, I just threw the bucket out. I didn't think there was any point in like cleaning it. I'm like, I don't care. You clean the washer? Great.
Yeah. You did the one thing I asked you to do.
Weeks later.
5 weeks later.
It took 6 months to get the Nest thermostat up. My hood in the kitchen. This is why it all kind of comes out nasty. Because
Yeah.
like I joke about it, I'm sarcastic about it, but you're still not seeing it. And then, of course, I'm just going to tell you like it is. You're fucking shit up. Okay?
It's just, I'm not laughing at
The
you.
fan of the hood, like one day, Neil's cousin and sister-in-law were visiting us, and it just cracked. It was so crazy. Like, thankfully, nobody got hurt, and like the shards of the fan didn't fall in our food. But that was, I'm pretty sure that was like early in the spring, like maybe April-ish.
When did he fix it?
It's still not fixed.
Ali John Bon?
So then he ordered a new fan to replace it, which I screwed in, and I was like, no, this doesn't work. It's not the right size. So that, I think that fan, the one that wasn't the right size, never got returned.
It's
And
too
so he
late
ordered
now.
a new one, and I was like, what did you do with the old one? He's like, well, the return window closed. And I'm like, well, of course, it's been months.
Yeah.
And then he ordered a new one. He tried to get it done, but it wasn't working. And he's like, I think we just need a new hood. I'm like, okay. So I'll be shopping for a new hood.
Yeah, at least Christmas is coming.
No, fuck no. I'm so good. I'm just going to open the windows. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It'll air out.
We don't use our hood. It just recirculates into our kitchen. It doesn't go out into the
I'm just going to
sunroom.
open the windows. I'm just take initiative.
It's ridiculous. But that, I mean, it's funny that you say months, okay? Months. I'm still, how long has it been since we've redone my kitchen? You didn't see my kitchen before. My kitchen had a wall between the kitchen and the dining room. I don't think you were never at my house during that time. You came afterwards, I believe.
Yeah, the first time was roommate number 3's 5th birthday. That was the
That
first time I ever came
You didn't
to
come
your
to
house.
his first birthday. His first birthday, it was still up, that wall. That was the carnival
It
one.
was red, I think, then too. You had the Paw Patrol party.
Yeah, no, you came the 5th birthday, which was the Paw Patrol party. And by then, that wall was done. So he just turned 12? So 12 years ago, we redid the kitchen.
We've been friends for so long.
So long. But I'm still waiting for base molding in my kitchen. If you look, you'll see there's no base molding in anywhere in my kitchen because we're still researching how to properly cut the angles and stuff. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why else we haven't had.
Homie, you just need a chop saw.
Girl, I know this.
I have one in my garage.
I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you. I have
Because
it in my
here's the thing. You said it earlier, and we've said it constantly to each other. It is not that we cannot do it. Women can survive without men 110%. But men cannot survive without women. They just can't. Right? They just cannot. That's why there's always this constant animosity between the two. That's why there's always men who are trying to make sure that women don't advance. It's the men that are always threatened about the power that women do have. And it's the men that know that women do not need them to survive. Those are the ones that are narcissistic assholes. Those are the ones that try to make women feel less than themselves. Those are the ones that don't support women. Those are the ones that would rather shit on you than help you.
Yeah.
It's because they know. Like, the only thing at this point that we need a man for is sperm. Not even sex. Because I can take a fucking turkey baster and impregnate myself. I know somebody in Phoenix who did that. She was not with her husband, but she wanted a third child, so she made her husband jizz juice into a cup, took a turkey baster, and basted herself. And her third child is now, I don't know how old. But it goes to show you,
How are you just gonna throw that into the world right now? Like, I didn't know I had capacity for that kind of information. The fuck? I thought that was only like something that happened on a TV show.
Well, it's for real, baby girl. It is for real. Everything you see on TV is written by a human being.
I know, that's true.
And it is based on some sort of truth. And that is the only thing that we need a man for, is if we want to procreate. Until we can artificially create semen that can then result in a human body.
Have you seen the stuff coming around about robots growing babies?
No! What? Robots?
Yeah.
Growing babies? How?
So, was it Elon?
Of course.
Right? Like, not surprised. He's got like robot prototypes.
Ew, that's disgusting. Only he would think of something like that.
They'll
What is wrong with
apparently be
him?
able to. I don't know what side of TikTok I'm on, but like I see this shit come through, right? And so I'm just like, okay, so you could have like a robot for like household chores, basically in
Yeah.
your house at all times, right?
Like in the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons?
Right. So they're gonna be doing like just whatever basic chores and shit that you need. Like eventually, people are gonna be fucking robots. Okay, like that's is bound to happen.
I mean,
But then there was something else that I saw come by about like how you could basically have robots be like baby incubators.
oh.
And
Which, I mean, an incubator in a NICU is basically a
but, like,
robot.
you're actually like growing the embryo.
Nice.
So
In a test tube.
you don't actually have to get pregnant, but you can just watch your baby grow in this robot form.
In real time.
That's wild to me.
That's insane.
Now, there's the other side of it. Like, while that's cool from a technological perspective, and that's
Right.
awesome for
Uh-huh.
the future, right? That you can still, you have the choice to like still start a family if you want to. That's awesome. But let's think about this. What does a guy have to do to provide for this to happen? He just needs to jizz in a cup.
Yeah.
What do females have to do to make that happen? You have to go through the whole IVF process.
Yeah,
and
invasive.
an egg retrieval
Yeah.
to make that happen.
Which is not
I
pleasant.
would not do that. And now, I know that can be a very sensitive subject. I was just somebody that like knew if I wasn't able to create a child naturally, God's way,
Traditionally.
then okay, maybe that's the right word.
Yeah.
Traditionally, then I knew that I wasn't mentally stable and secure enough to go through an IVF.
Oh, same.
Right? Like,
yeah.
and
yeah.
that's not to knock on it.
No.
People, like, I know so many women that have gone through it. I think they are so strong for doing that to themselves,
Yeah.
to have their children. I was not one of those.
No.
I'm very weak in that sense. Like, I wouldn't have put myself through it. So, still, like, fine, cool, you can watch your baby grow, but, like, yo, you still have to put yourself through a lot of shit, almost worse
Yeah.
than to
But-
create a child naturally.
But it
or
like
traditionally. That's
but
the
it
word.
goes to show you. It goes to show you that no matter what advances there are in the future,
Women
women
get the
still-
shit end of the deal.
yeah, we still get shit on. We still have to do things the hard way because no one cares about the female body. No one gives a shit about it. However, what is the one thing that you need in order to procreate? You need the female body. You cannot, the science has not advanced enough that we can make babies in test tubes. It's not there yet. We are not there yet, right? Ethically, whatever you want to call it, scientifically, we are not there yet. So
Like
until
an artificial womb.
right, so
I
until
think it exists, but we don't know about it. Yeah.
but we're not part of the 1% that gets
right.
access to it.
Yeah.
But until that is available to everybody, which is going to be decades from now, so many decades, maybe even 100 years from now. Like, it's not going to be in our lifetime, and I don't even know if it's going to be in our roommate's lifetime to be able to artificially, incubate a baby outside of a living human female body,
Right.
but outside of a uterus. But until you don't need that uterus anymore, I don't understand why women are not revered more than they need to be revered more. They need to, let's go back to our culture.
But you made a really good point. It's because men would become obsolete at that point.
Right.
Right.
Let's go back to our culture, right? Like this past week, right? It was Diwali and Sal Mubarak and all this stuff, right? And everybody's all, and I thought, yesterday, I was like, you know what? The one person that I would have sent a Happy Diwali or Sal Mubarak to, and I didn't even send it to, and it was you.
Oh!
No, I'm serious.
I didn't even think anything of it, though.
No, but what I'm saying is, and the reason we didn't is because the values that our culture has, the real values, the ones that are not sensationalized for social media, the real values that our culture has shit on girls since the dawn of time. But yet, when you go onto social media, one of the big things that we do in our South Asian culture in the new year is we pray to we pray to our daughters because they represent Lakshmi and they bring wealth into the family. Where's my accolades? Where's my worship? No one's worshiping, no one's washing my feet and making sure that I'm happy in a home. No one did it when I was younger, and no one's doing it now when I'm older. Right? And so you're projecting this, right? And I saw this for the past week. Last week to like week
Triggering.
two, and that's why I was so irritated. And whenever anybody was like, Happy Diwali, I was like, fuck you. Like I wanted to be
Happy Diwali, though. Oh my god.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like in the fact that constantly we're always being told, oh, whenever somebody has a daughter, Lakshmi Aisha, right? They say that all the
Don't
time.
even get me started on that.
Right? They would say that all the
This just reminds me
time.
of the 75-25 conversation
Oh
with
my
my
God.
mom, dude.
I don't.
Okay, like,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you.
nah, it's all good. I'm actually handling this very well.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? And for the longest time, like after I got married, and I was like, the big thing in our culture, you have to have boys, as if it's just a switch. I can pull back and forth. Oh, I'm pregnant, blow it to the boy side because we don't want a girl. And I honestly thought that because I was giving my mother-in-law a son, a grandson, the first in the family, that I would somehow be like, become a favorite, become like oh, good job. Like I would be revered, I would be loved more, when in fact it's the opposite. You know what I'm saying? And then I give you a second grandson. So double whammy, not even just like a fluke.
You took them in.
But it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. And no, and until like this is, men are going to constantly, they're going to constantly make sure that we don't get the opportunity to show them that we can survive without them, because then they're going to be so obsolete.
Yeah.
And they know this.
That's a really, really interesting perspective. I hadn't thought about that.
That's why
Yeah.
I don't feel bad now behaving like how some men behave. I don't feel bad.
Have you seen like those TikToks or whatever where you respond to emails as a man?
Yeah.
I tend to be like that. I think that actually got me in trouble at work because I wasn't the fluffy emailer.
I do that all the time. I did that at work
wasn't
too.
like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How was your weekend? Blah, 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 blah. And then get to the point. I just answer the question.
No, but that's what all CEOs do. If you look at the emails that
Yeah.
CEOs write and the way they write emails, they don't have pleasantries. They don't start their emails off with hi and then finish with goodbye or thank you. They answer your question and they move on. They answer your question and then
I
they move on.
actually caught myself doing that a lot, even within my business. And then I was like, wait.
Girl,
Congratulations on your engagement. Like, I have to add that in because I'm just like, shoot, like, you're just going to come off like a shark.
that's so funny that you say that, because I even when I'm texting, I do the same thing in this new world now, right? Like somebody will text me something, or even if I'm the one to initiate, and I just automatically will start.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, let's just get it
I'm
done.
just like, oh, yes, I'm available that day. Let's set up a consult, blah, blah, blah.
But
Like,
but then I'm moving my cursor up and then going to the beginning, and I'm like, hey, how's it going?
Same.
Before I send it, I'm
I do
always
the
changing.
exact same. It's so every time.
But no,
I get so caught up in just answering the question.
but like I learned that because I had read online when I was at corporate, when I was a corporate girly, the fact that, this is what CEOs do, so how come I can't have that same mentality? If you want to be a CEO, you have to think like a CEO, right? And so
You have
that's
to act like one.
Yeah, and you have to act like one,
Yeah.
right? What was I told at my first job, our first job, where we met the first time, when I questioned the fact of how come I'm not getting promoted, but all these contractors that I trained are getting promoted. And I was told,
Oh, yeah, you didn't get to senior right off the
yeah,
bat.
and I was told, well, you have to do the job that you want, not the job that you have. And I was like, bitch, I've been doing the job that I want. That's what I was told. That's what I was told. So not only did my first corporate girly job tell me that I had to do the job that I wanted, not the one I had when I was already doing it. She knows because I trained her. But then my second job told me, there's no ROI on my position. Therefore, we cannot get you help.
And that's funny because like you created such a niche for yourself at the last job. You took what you learned at the first one and you ran with it.
But they hired me for that niche position.
She created her position.
Which they hired me for.
Right.
And I'm like, and even then, you're still giving me this BS. And it is because...
Well, you got your team now. I can't say it enough. You got your team now.
I honestly feel the reason they treated me the way that they did
They're
is
threatened by you.
because I wasn't fluffy enough,
No, I think they were threatened by you.
which is true, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're going to be dealing with this type of BS from men, regardless if they're your boyfriend, your brother, your dad, your uncle, your husband. It doesn't matter, or your sons. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
They can be blunt with you, but you can't be blunt with them.
Right.
That's bogus.
And I'm not doing that. I'm so done with not being blunt with people. Like, if you can't handle my bluntness, then there's the door. This is not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. Just get the fuck out. Like, I'm so done with people who are like overly sensitive and
You can't keep protecting everybody else's like triggers and shit though.
when
That's so
nobody's
good.
protecting mine.
Right.
Like, nobody's thinking about
You don't
your
have time for
triggers.
that.
Nobody's, you know, did your husband think about that when you fumbled a little and you made bagarili bakri instead of enchiladas? No. He wasn't like, yo, let's calm down a little bit. Everybody just sit down. Let's all just have a snack. Maybe everybody's just hangry. Mommy, we will do better tomorrow.
And I honestly, in his defense, he has come to my rescue, so to say. Like, hey, babe, go take 5, you know? But he didn't today. And I was like, I just feel like shit. I tried
Yeah.
so hard
No,
to set ourselves up
When you
so that
feel
when
like
I'm
shit.
leaving the house, it's more for myself.
yeah.
Every time I leave the house, I come home to everything being undone.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I clean up really for myself because it helps me visualize what I need to get done. So then I leave it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I want to make sure that it's like as easy as possible for Neil to also deal with the kids. So like I try to prep, or at least if I didn't do the work, I have a list of stuff. So like, here, you have this to choose from. Like, don't forget about whatever.
Right.
Right? You do the work. And then when I come home, I'm like, nobody thinks about me.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks, hey, mommy's going to be home in about an hour. Let's get it wrapped up. Let's get it cleaned up. Like, nobody thinks like that.
I know.
And I can say that with a lot of conviction because I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would have seen it. And if I saw it, I would have felt it.
Right. That's why every time whenever I came home, up until recently, whenever I would come home from a show trip, and why do you think if I went to the sink to get a glass of water, or just that part of the kitchen, and if I saw dishes in the sink, why do you think it pissed me off? It wasn't because I'm not capable of washing 2 dishes that are in the sink, but it's because were you relying on me knowing that I was coming home to then wash these dishes so you didn't have to?
Yeah.
And maybe that is a miscommunication thing, right? Because he was thinking something else, I was thinking something else, and as soon as we both said it, the air was cleared. However, when it goes on for so long, right?
You stop making excuses then. You're
Right.
just like, no, fuck that.
No, and you just get pissed off about it. And you're just like, you know what? I'm going out and I'm making us all of this money. I'm going and doing all of this for the family. And no, did the family ask me to go do this? No, right? Like, it's not like I got a consultation job with like
Nobody's
Capgemini
gonna
or
ask
something.
you to do that per se. This was an opportunity. You guys decided as a family to run
Right.
with it.
So then let's be
all
appreciative
all
on deck.
hands on deck. Yeah.
Yeah. But when it's not appreciated and when it's not reciprocated, but then, and again, we were talking about this earlier, but then when they do something, they want all of these accolades for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, where was mine?
Yeah. So that happened yesterday.
Where was mine?
Yesterday I was out. What did I do? I had to run out somewhere, and I think my daughter was with me. And I came back, and I was about to park the car in the garage. And as I'm opening the garage, Neil's in there, and he swept the garage. Like, all the leaves are like, flying in
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah.
whatever. It packs up. But he took the opportunity to. He left one of the cars out, and then as I pulled up, I just left it out too so he could finish sweeping it up. But then, like, I saw it. I saw that it was done. But tell me why he felt the need to... I sweep the garage, babe.
Yeah. You want to eat? Oh my God, we did it at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, good. I just see that as, like, a household chore.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like, I know. So the other day, I came home, and he had cleaned our bathroom, and I know that he was waiting for me to say something, But I'm just like, in my brain, I was like, have you ever given me a thank you or a good job with the bathroom or a notice that the bathroom was
I've been
clean?
saying stuff like that even out loud with the kids. I don't expect my kids to clean the toilet and stuff like that, but I do expect you to, like, if your trash is full, go dump it. You know, I expect you to, like, put your laundry in the laundry basket.
Yeah.
I'm actually, my daughter's 8, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I told her, I'm just like, I think it's time that you start using the laundry machine.
Yeah.
You can reach it now.
Mm-hmm.
So when your laundry basket is full, you're gonna dump it in there and you're gonna start doing your laundry. I can help you fold it. I can understand if, like, some things are a little difficult to fold, but I think you can wash, set a timer, get in the dryer. I think you can do all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we're gonna delegate a little bit of that. So I don't expect them to necessarily clean the toilet, but whenever, like, the little one, I have the worst luck ever. That's
Oh
what
my
he
God.
said. He gets so whiny. I have the worst luck ever. Why do I have to do everything? But when he says that, I hear myself because
Yeah.
I say that.
Yeah.
I do say that. I'm like, you guys, mommy's not the only one using all these dishes. Mommy's not the only one using the bathroom.
Yeah.
Mommy's not the only one out for a walk. Like, those are your shoes.
Yeah.
Put them back. Those are your jackets.
But there's nothing wrong with that.
Right? And so I do say that, and then I hear my kids say, like, why do I have to do everything? Like, hey, who wants to let the dog out? Because she'll be trotting, you know? Like, why do I have to do everything? They're just, like, from, like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah,
moping
yeah.
around. It's
Yeah.
just so, I asked for too much.
So much.
Right?
Why would you do that?
I asked for so much.
Why would you ask them to take the dog out? Like,
It's
this
just
is ridiculous.
Just ridiculous,
This
right?
is
Right.
too many
It's a
times that
little
we've
Freaky
been saying,
Friday.
yeah, oh my God.
But yeah, they'll say stuff like that, and I'm catching myself. I'm like, am I setting the wrong example by saying, like, I'm not the only one that does this?
No.
But I'll get mad and be like, I'm not the only one that fucking shits in the toilet. Oh, you guys shit in the toilet.
Yeah.
Why am I the only one that's scrubbing them?
No.
Or I gotta pay somebody to scrub it once a month.
No. At least you have that luxury. I don't have that luxury.
That's the one luxury.
I know.
You do nails.
I know, that's true.
I
wish.
I reallocated to at least having somebody come clean my house once a month.
Hey man, there's too many people here. She'll be like, no way.
You might be about the same amount, but yeah. Anyway.
All right. Leave your questions, comments, all that BS down below. We will talk to you next time. Okay, bye.